Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. There's a lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Well, you know, it's amazing how things happen in life, and I'm just so happy to be on this life wave journey with so many people within Loving Life, which is great. And what I'm going to start tonight's live stream off with is a short testimonial from someone in the network that we're in at LifeWave, and let's hear what she has to say about how X39 has changed her life.
Hi, my name's Leanne, and I started using the X39 4 months ago. Since using X39, my life has completely changed. I used to feel quite stiff and sore getting up in the morning. I used to also have quite a lot of neuralgia in my legs, which is reduced. Some days when I do have it, it's very low and not as intense as it used to be. My brain fog from COVID also started to lift within a couple of days, like about 10 days. I'm also not having such an intense lashback from my epilepsy as well. I'm finding that my head is just more open. I don't have pressure on my head like I used to. It's really changed my life, and since I've been part of the business itself, it's also just catapulted me to a new positive mindset. I'm really excited about the product and what it does for other people as well, and what it's done for me and what I'm seeing it do for my family. So I just cannot thank David Schmidt enough for his inspiration and his creation. Thank you.
All right, now there you heard a lady talking about how this product, and you can actually see it under my eye here, the patch, as they call it, has changed her life. And I just want to give a little update on how the patch is improving my vision. I put up a video last week about how I can now recognize people over 30 yards away, whereas before it was just a blur. And that coincidentally started happening after I started wearing the patch. And now I'm noticing that where I used to do Control Plus to actually increase the size of text on the computer screen, I don't have to do it anymore. I can actually read the text. So there is something quite remarkable happening in my life. Now, when we talk about X39, we're talking about a product that actually rejuvenates. It actually wakes up your stem cells in your body. It's non-invasive. All it's doing is waking up stem cells that go to sleep in older people. And they then become active and they start fixing things in your body. That's how simple it is. There's nothing complicated about this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a short video where you can hear a doctor who actually injects stem cells into people, talking about how incredibly powerful these remarkable stem cells are. Let's listen to that. Here we go.
What are stem cells and what role are they playing in the body?
So, we talked about fertilized egg, right? That's where we all came from. You and I and everybody had all come from a single stem cell. So that was a totally potent, so incredibly powerful cell that can form anything, can form into, eggs and sperm and the whole body of this new life. And as the single cell divide, forming a ball and then some other structures, all those cells are still stem cells up to a certain point. When they actually start forming organs, that's when you have more organ-specific cells. Those are terminal cells. Those are cells that are no longer stem cells. But before that, they're all stem cells, but they're at different stages. So you start with this fertilized egg that has 100% potential. And when that forms other cells, the cells start to specialize just a little bit. They're still stem cells, but they're not the stem cells that can form everything. So you can end up with stem cells that can only form cells of the circulatory system, right? All the red blood cells, white blood cells. You can form cells that can, create your entire GI tract. And you have cells that form, the brain. So they start to specialize, and there's almost endless hierarchy of specialization. And all along this hierarchy, they're all stem cells.
Now, as you get into this video...
Okay, I'm just going to put that on pause. But yeah, that's just how powerful stem cells are. This isn't some kind of a quackery. This is genuine stuff, and it works. And look, we're seeing results amongst people who are Loving Life family, which is quite extraordinary, since they started using the X39 from LifeWave, which, as I mentioned, is right under my eye. I'm going to get Chris Hattingh, who's in our upline, to have a chat to me, because we're all on a learning curve. And one of the fantastic things about being in this group, in this network that we have with Loving Life, is that we have active WhatsApp groups. So any questions you have get answered. There's a huge amount of support, and we'll be talking about that tonight. It's an amazing journey, and it's lovely to see people in your downline actually benefiting from a product in this network that we have. All right, I'm going to get Chris on, and let's get the show on the road. Here we go. Hi, Chris.
Good evening, Scott.
How you going, buddy?
Hey, well, thanks, and you?
Excellent, thank you, excellent. And of course, my good news is that I'm very close in the network to becoming a manager, if I can put it that way. And I believe Marlena is already a manager, which is fantastic. I'm so pleased for her, just so proud of her. Let me just pull something up here just while I get myself sorted here. Now,
Okay.
Chris, you just as a bit of a summary, we have talked about this in the past, but you've been involved with LifeWave and X39 now for about, what, 5 months?
Just on 5 months, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're one of these spectacular successes in this product, because not only is it benefiting you and people in your downline as far as their health is concerned, but it's actually now bringing you a good income because you're now part of what they call the network. Do you want to just take us through your journey with X39, and then we'll discuss the product itself?
Yeah, completely. Nothing in life happens by accident, as you were mentioning just now. Everything happens for a reason. And, I came across LifeWave stem cell patches purely by accident at the end of last year. What actually happened was I was on a Zoom call in around probably about October last year. And a very good friend of mine that I've known for about 2 years by the name of George, that lives in Spain, he sent me a message while I was on the Zoom, and he said, "Chris, you are looking tired." I had black rings under my eyes. I was literally working 14, 16 hours a day, hitting complete burnout. My brain felt like it wasn't working properly. You know, that feeling of brain fog, which is something I'd never experienced in my life before, and I was feeling it. And so George sent me some information, and I didn't know much about stem cells at all. Just a couple of articles I've read here and there, but nothing really grabbed my attention until George sent me info and said, "Chris, I've got something that can really help you." He sent me a very short 2-minute video clip that explained the science and the technology behind the patches. And I had a look at it. He sent me another video clip on David Schmidt, the owner of the company, talking about the science as well. And it was not until he sent me a voice note telling me about a friend of his that lives in France that has been suffering from tinnitus, that ringing in the ears, for about 20 years. And he was telling me how his friend has been using the patches and it started helping with his tinnitus. Now, what's quite amazing to the story is my girlfriend, Lucinda, she's been suffering with tinnitus for the last 4 years. So that stopped me in my tracks and got my attention. And, long story short, I decided, let me take a look at this. And I registered on the 24th of November last year. I registered, and 2 days later, my patches arrived. This is what it looks like. A sleeve of X39 patches, 30 arrived. And straight away, I said, right, okay. I've seen the pictures of where you put this on. You put it on the back of your neck, and you put it on for 12 hours for the day, and you take it off in the night, which is what I proceeded to do. But before I did that, I sent George a message. He said, "Okay, Chris, do you know how this works and what to do?" I said, "Yes, easy. You patch it on. It works with absorption." And that's when he sent me a message saying, "Chris, you obviously haven't watched the videos properly. It's got nothing to do with transdermal absorption. This works on frequency." And when he said that, that got my attention. I thought, wow. So it works on low life wave frequency. Nothing goes into the body at all. What it does is the moment you put the patch on, it elevates your copper peptide, which then tells your own body to reactivate your own stem cells. Put the patches on, and after 5 days, I could feel that fog, that brain fog was kind of lifted off my brain, and my clarity of thinking became, there's no words to describe the sharpness of how my brain was feeling compared to what it was. My brain right now, I feel like how I was thinking when I was 25 years old. And I would spend $1,000 a month just to have the clarity of thinking that I have right now. And along the journey, along the way, the other benefits I started feeling was increase in energy. And something that I didn't quite consciously realize is that my dizziness started disappearing. Now, I've been suffering from vertigo for about a good 4 years, and I would take motion sickness tablets. And I didn't realize a month and a half in that I didn't take any of the tablets. And I haven't had a dizzy spell in basically 5 months since being part of LifeWave.
Yeah.
So that's just what the product has done for myself. And, for me, anything in my life, I could never talk about something that hasn't got the scientific backup, something that hasn't been tested, and something that doesn't work. And this ticked all the boxes for me.
Yeah.
I'm blown away. What I'm seeing every day, the testimonies and the difference this product's making in people's lives, just leaves me gobsmacked, absolutely gobsmacked.
Well, mate, look, I'm just looking at your face at the moment, and your beard is getting blacker and blacker and blacker. All the grey is going. I mean, that's a visual change that you can actually see, and perhaps you can explain to people that what this patch does is when it comes to your heart, it apparently takes 8 years off your. Well, it gives you an extra 8 years. It makes you younger because of the way it actually helps your heart. Do you want to just talk about that?
Yeah, it's been scientifically proven that after 6 months being on the X39 patches, you basically reverse aging. You're turning back the clock.
And
so
you're seeing it in your beard. I mean, it's a visual thing.
I'm so glad you noticed that, Scott. You're about, maybe the 10th person that has made that comment in the last probably 3 weeks.
Yeah.
People have noticed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it does. It increases the collagen in the skin, specifically in the face. You must see what some of the people are looking like that have been on the product for 6 months. The wrinkles under their eyes. I mean, I had black rings under my eyes. My black rings are gone.
Wow.
I started getting some deep lines. My skin is smoothening, which is amazing. People that I haven't seen for about, I don't know, over a year that I've seen the last 2-3 weeks have all made comments saying, Chris, what on earth are you doing? You're looking younger. And that's after 5 months. 1 more month to go. And my vascular system, this is scientifically proven, would have de-aged or reversed by 8 years.
Wow.
And you see that what people need to understand is stem cells are what you call your youth gene. And what happens is when we get born with billions of stem cells. And as we age, the stem cells start to actually die off. And by the age of 30, you probably your body's producing about half the stem cells. And at the age of 60, your body just about doesn't produce any stem cells at all. And that's when the aging process really starts to kick in. Now, what happens with stem cells, as I said, it's your youth gene. And what it does is it rejuvenates your own stem cells and actually, like I said, takes your body back to a younger state.
Yeah. Well, look, I have a testimonial from Marlena, who's my PA, as you know, and she was the first person in our Loving Life group to basically try the technology. And I remember she called me and she said, I've got these patches and I'm going to give them a go. And, she was talking about the stuff I had absolutely no understanding of. And some people watching tonight will have absolutely no understanding of what this stuff does. And I said, okay, let's see how it works for you. And a few days later, she said to me, you know what? All the inflammation in my knees, because she used to use a wheelchair when she went out of the house. Because her knees are absolutely cactus. I mean, there's no cartilage between the bones, and it was just complete. The pain, the inflammation. I was there in March. I saw this firsthand. You push her around in a wheelchair. But within about a week, in fact, you've seen this yourself because you've been to a shopping center with her, and she no longer needs to take the wheelchair. She's walking around. That's quite extraordinary.
Scott, I was blown away. I was literally blown away. This is, I think it's exactly, is it 3 weeks ago or is it 4 weeks ago? I think it's 4 weeks ago to today. Obviously I'd spoken to Marlena about the patches, and I remember when I met Marlena, just on 2 years ago, I remember she had problems with her knees then. And when I spoke to Marlena on the phone, she said, Chris, my knees are even worse since the last time we met. They are bad.
Yeah.
And I said, cool, I'm going to come through and see you, and I'm going to put these patches on your knees. And we made the appointment. I went to go see her on the Monday morning. And I'll never forget, I was parked outside Marlena's garage, and she opened the garage door, and I saw Marlena coming across from the door on her crutches, but she wasn't walking. Marlena was she was shuffling her feet.
Yeah.
And I just remember one thing that really stood out for me was the look on Marlena's face. You know, when a person's got pain, it's like you've got this like struggling, you're battling with something.
Yeah.
And I said, Marlena, I've got something that I believe will change your life. And you know what? Marlena gave me the smile, kind of rolling eyes a little bit, going, okay,
yeah, bring it on.
Prove it to me. Bring it on. Bring it on. I've tried everything. And so I said, no, you know what? You're going to be my guinea pig. And we put the patches on her knees, right?
Yeah.
And you know the state of what Marlena's knees were in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this was on the Monday. Now, I had to go to Marlena's house again on the Friday. So we're talking 5 days.
Yeah.
I needed to take Marlena to the shopping center to sort out something with her Capitec bank account. And I said, I will come and fetch you on Friday morning. And you know what? When the garage door was opening, I was expecting to see more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
When I saw Marlena walking to the car without the crutches, my jaw dropped. I thought, what am I looking at here? And she had a smile on her face. Her face had completely changed.
Yeah.
And she hopped in the car. We went to the shopping center.
Like a bunny rabbit.
I actually couldn't believe what I was looking at. We got to the shopping center. She hops out the car, and she's walking to the bank and walking back to the car.
Yeah.
And she said, Chris, this is the first time in I can't tell you how long. I don't have any pain in my knees.
Yeah.
I don't have any pain in my knees. So, you know, what we did there is, you know, the LifeWave, there's a product range of 12 different products, but the main product is the X39. That's the product that was launched 3.5 years ago. And this is your, we call it the Holy Grail. This is the product that's going to go in the background and rejuvenate and wake up all those stem cells that have been sleeping. But at the same time, we've got, where is my envelope? Where is the patch here? Oh, hang on 1 second. Here it is here. Okay, if you can see this is the one that is called Ice Wave.
Ah, that's the one for pain.
That's right, specifically for pain, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is we use the products together in conjunction with each other. So we put the X39 on, which is doing all the work in the background, and then the Ice Wave is what we call the shock treatment. This is going to help with the immediate pain, inflammation, that type of thing. But this is not long term. This is just a short term, if you want to call it a quick fix, to take the pain away while the X39 is doing all the work in the background. So this is what we've been doing. And Marlena was on the Ice Wave, the X39, and then she went off the Ice Wave for about 2 weeks. And she said, Chris, I'm starting to feel a little bit of the pain coming back. So I said, not a problem. Let's get the Ice Wave back onto your knee. And within 2 or 3 days, the pain has subsided. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the Ice Wave on and off. And then after about, I'd say give it, we talk about a 90-day protocol. David Schmidt, the owner, the inventor of LifeWave, talks about the 90-day protocol to get your body up to the optimum state. So by the time we get to that point, Marlena won't even be needing to use the Ice Wave anymore. This is just to help with the pain during the process. And the X39 is going to do all the work. But just looking at what that did for Marlena, looking at her face, got A picture speaks 1,000 words. And when I saw the smile on Molina's face, it does something for your heart. To see a person's life change in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
And that's why I am building the team that I'm busy building right now, because it's passion. The passion comes through when you see the miracles unfold every single day in front of you.
Well, I've seen it through my eyes, and obviously it's not as dramatic as Marlena, where you can see physically the change, but I can tell you my vision, it's had a huge impact. And there are a lot of questions coming through on the side here, which we'll get to in a second. But for those who are interested in joining or getting involved in the X39, there is a link below this video that you can take, and there you can actually then go and join. And the level that most people join at is at the silver level, which gives you 3 envelopes of patches. It gives you a total of 90 patches, which will last you about 3 to 6 months. So you're looking at about less than the price of a cup of coffee per day to wear these patches. And as we go on with our involvement with LifeWave, you're going to hear more and more testimonials from people talking about how this incredible technology, because it is a technology which reactivates your stem cells, how it's working for people. Now, just talking about the network, because a lot of people, when they hear that it's network marketing, it's like, oh, don't want to go there. Now, I just want to explain to people one simple reality. And whether you work for government, or whether you work in a company like a bank, or whether you work in, let's say, a trucking company, guess what, guys? You've got a network. You've got the CEO, or you've got the minister at the top in the government department. You've then got a number of senior managers, and you've got managers. You've got a network. This is no different. So all you're doing is you're building your business. You are basically like the head of your little network. You're building your business, which is no different to any other job you have in the world today. The difference is that you can actually create an amazing income for yourself by actually networking and getting people to join under your particular network. Do you just want to add something to that, Chris, about how this works with the network?
Yes. Yeah. Now I'm glad you brought that up, where you get what you call a stigma attached to an industry, where a lot of people say, "Oh, network marketing, this is not for me. This is not for me." The first thing to ask a person is, "Have you been involved in network marketing before?" And did you know that half the people say no?
Yeah.
So the first question I ask is, why are you making these comments on an industry that you actually know nothing about? And that all comes from maybe 20 years ago through the family tree. Some uncle went and bought 20,000 rands worth of toothpaste through Amway, and he was stuck with all these boxes of toothpaste. And spoke to 3 people saying, "Hey, I want to tell you about a business." And they said, "I'm not interested." And this guy turns around and goes, "Oh, this network marketing thing, it doesn't work." The whole 3 people I spoke to all said no. So guess what? These things don't work, which is so far from the truth, because network marketing is the most amazing industry in the world for a couple of reasons. Number one, the industry's been around for over 80 years. 80 years. And, network marketing, funny enough, has made more millionaires than any other industry in the world. And what I love about it is it's a level playing field. So in other words, just because you might have some extra money doesn't mean that you can buy yourself to the top. You cannot buy yourself to the top. Everybody starts at the same level, and you build yourself up by working together with people, building your team, and putting all the training in place, that type of thing. And, network marketing has been through a lot of changes over the years, and the structure that LifeWave works is new development within the industry, which is leaps and years ahead where we're talking about a binary system where you've got a left leg and a right leg, and that's it. You're just building two teams.
Yeah.
And we get a thing what you call spillover, which is the most beautiful thing. Now, what that means is, if you have a look on your back office, I think you've registered 3 people, right?
Yeah.
But below you on your structure, I think you're sitting on about nearly over 20 people, if I'm not mistaken. And you're asking, where do these people come from? This comes from above. So people tend to think to themselves, yeah, but it's only the people at the top that make the money. That is so far from the truth.
It is.
Exactly, because you can register somebody underneath you, which I did. I've registered a lady that lives in the USA on one of my legs. And she, what do you call it? She earned more than me a couple of the months.
Wow.
Because of the way she set her structure up. So that is something that is so amazing that, like I said, it's leveled the playing fields. What you put in is in direct proportion to what you get out. Now, network marketing is word of mouth. A lot of people have been in network marketing in one form or another. A lot of, if you want to call it, Me Too products.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of very good products out there. There's a lot of very good companies out there. Let me tell you, I've got so much respect for the industry because of what it's done for people on many different levels. Now, David Schmidt, the owner of LifeWave, had a big decision to make when he started the company basically 19 years ago. And he wanted to get the product out into the marketplace. And the quickest way to get a product into the marketplace is through word of mouth, and people helping people experiencing a product, and people sharing testimonies on what the product has done for people. And the first 10 years, what they were really doing was putting the clinical trials and the studies in place, putting the patents in place. So a lot of people call LifeWave a 19-year-old startup company, because the beginning day was setting the foundation, putting the foundation in place. And that's something that really got my attention when I joined. One of the questions I actually asked George, I said to him, George, how long has LifeWave been in business? He said 19 years.
Yeah.
When he said 19 years, the word stability popped into my mind. I thought, wow, this company is 1 year short of a decade. They obviously know what they're doing, because most companies, 90% of companies fail within the first, I think it's the first 5 years. That's fact. That is fact. So when you've got a company that has been around the block for 2 decades, with cutting edge science, a product that's got 133 registered patents on it. Very quickly on the patent, what I'd like to mention is a company only gets issued a patent if the product does what it says it's going to do. Otherwise, you may not get a patent. That is committing fraud. So when we talk about LifeWave having 133 patents, most companies have only got 3, 4, maybe 5 patents. I don't know many companies out in the world that have got 133 patents on the product.
Yeah.
And that in itself can give anybody peace of mind knowing that this product is going to do what it says it's going to do.
Look, I just want to share a couple of things. I'm just watching the side chat here and the comments that are coming through. What I'd like to do is I'd like to share my dashboard with everybody, and I've actually got that sharing with you at the moment, Chris. So let me just put that up so people can see what happens on the back end when you actually join LifeWave. And I'm just going to increase the size of the text. And I was just bragging a moment ago that I don't have to increase the size of the text anymore, but I'm going to so that people can actually see what's on there. Now, just on this particular point, guys, if you don't want to do network marketing, you don't have to. You can just buy your product whenever you want. It can be once every 6 months. It can be once a month, whatever. You don't have to get involved in the network marketing side. It's an option. But I tell you what, you have a look at the commissions that I'm earning on my little area. It's $300 so far, and that's in about what, 3 weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
And you can see I'm nearly a manager. I'm up to 95. I just need one more person direct under me, and I'm a friggin' manager. and you know, it's amazing because I've had quite a few people join under me. You can see there's Nat, who's actually under Marlena. But what happens is that those people under you, they actually get other people to join, and you basically get the benefit. It's like this network happening, expanding underneath you, and you do get a financial benefit, which is quite amazing. So, do you want to just take us through this back office, as it's called? Chris, over to you.
Well, very quickly, just to give you some facts, 60% of the company's turnover gets paid back to its distributors. 60%. So instead of in traditional marketing or traditional business, instead of paying for putting the product onto TV or radio and using traditional marketing methods, what they've done is they've taken that same amount of money, and instead of spending it there, all they're doing is turning it and putting it into the pockets of people for sharing the product and the opportunity. So really, you know, in a nutshell, how it works is, if you joined at the silver level, which is $300, and you've already received commissions of $300.
Yeah, well,
which actually means that you've basically got your product free.
I have.
Yeah,
and that's in a month. Yeah. And not only that, Chris, but I'm going to be moving up to a gold tonight. In fact, I'm going to upgrade to a gold, because that cements my managerial side. But yeah, now if we look down here, I mean, it's a beautiful back office. You can see who's actually involved, your people in your downline. You can see the recent activity, you know, who's joined, where and when. So it's a very comprehensive back office. And the most important thing, and I know this is now becoming too much information for a lot of people, the most important thing is the support network that you have. So look, I'm learning. I'm learning very quickly about this whole thing, but just to give you an idea, this is the sort of support that you get once you're in the actual network. You can see that you got a presidential director, Dr. Tony Smith, who's going to be talking tonight at 8 p.m. on a Zoom call about the product and how to create a network business. And then you've got all these different sessions you can join and participate in. So there's a huge amount of support, which is fantastic. So you don't have to say, I'm going to be stuck on my own. I don't know how to make this happen. Believe me, I've been a beneficiary of the support that you get through your network, and Chris has played a big role in that. So, you know, the Loving Life network, if I can put it that way, you know, you'll get support every inch of the way. Back to you, Chris.
Scroll a little bit down, like a tiny little bit. I want you to bring up Harvey.
Oh, yes. Okay. There's Harvey and Olga. Now, Harvey he's been in the business for what, 9 months now?
10 months.
10 months, and he's earning over $10,000 per week from his downline. $10,000 per week. That's US dollars.
And let me tell you, and let me explain to you why. You think to yourself, how on earth can a person get to that type of income?
Yeah.
Well, Harvey and Olga, they've got a child by the name of Alex that last year was 8 years old, and he's got autism. And Harvey and Olga last year, 2022, flew Alex to Mexico twice to get your traditional stem cell injections. And my goodness, take a guess what they spent just last year. $22,000 is what they spent last year on their child on traditional stem cell injections, and they didn't see an improvement. A friend of theirs by the name of Mark phoned them up and said, guys, I think I found something that can help your son. Stem cell reactivation patches. And they turned around and said, oh, come on, please. How much does that cost? $99. They said, right, $99 versus $22,000. We don't think this is really going to work. But they turned around and said, you know what? What have we got to lose? They ordered their patches. They put the patches on their son, Alex. And after 3 weeks, their son was able to get onto a Peloton bicycle on his own. He was able to get onto a swing on his own, which he was not able to do prior to being on the patches. They have seen how this product has turned their child's life around. Now, you can just imagine when we're talking about a person's children, and something that has made a difference in their life. They are basically standing on a mountaintop, sharing LifeWave with the world. They started off, they registered exactly like I did, exactly like you did. They started with a blank back office and said, right, what are we going to do? Let's share this with people. They're now sitting with 6,000 people in their team after 10 months. And that's because of the testimony and the story they've got. But I'm going to step it one further. What you're busy showing us right now, we belong to a team called Quantum Field. That's the team that we belong to. It's the fastest growing team in the whole of LifeWave. And the person that basically started the team, her name is Onyx Cole. Now, she was in network marketing previously, over 10 years ago. I think it was about 15 years ago, she was in the network marketing industry. She'd never been in the industry before, and somebody shared it with her, and she got stuck in, put her head down, and put some systems in place and built her team. I think it was to do with juices. It was a juices network marketing company. In the industry, in 7 years, she earned commissions to the value of 17 million rand. Now,
wow.
You know what? Sorry, not rand, dollars. Sorry, dollars.
What?
$17 million. Dollars. Now, listen, I still try to get my head wrapped around those types of figures. That is like, it's like, I'm still trying to comprehend that. But that is the reality of what this industry can do. And she went into retirement. She sold her downline. And that's something, you know, this is your own little business in a box. As long as you've got a YouTube, a Wi-Fi connection, you've got a cell phone, you've got a business in the box. You can do this from an island if you want to. And it starts to acquire a value. You can actually, down the line, if you feel like you want to retire, you can actually sell your structure. It becomes a proper dinkum business. And so what she did was, this was a couple of years back, she sold her downline and she retired. And then what happened was 3.5 years ago, quite coincidentally, at the same time that X39 was launched, somebody sent her a sleeve of X39 and said, we have found something new that's going to take the world by storm. And in network marketing. Guess what? This product took her out of retirement. She's back out of retirement and she has put structures together. This is the training that we get. This is the support that we get, which is one of the most important things because, you know, a lot of times you join a network marketing company and people just get signed up and dumped. And that is something that does not happen in this team. When a person joins, you get the support, every bit of support. We hold your hand every step of the way to get you to where you want to get to in life, from a health point of view and a wealth point of view. And Onyx Cole put a system called 331 in place. She designed the website called startx39.com. So she's put all the duplicatable tools in place, which helps all of us to be able to duplicate and succeed. And something that I find really amazing is the person that is leading us in this team is somebody that is not doing it for the money.
Yeah.
You know, $17 million, you can retire for 4 or 5 generations, you know what I mean?
You can.
And here's a person that is in the trenches working with us, doing it because of two things: because of the product and because of her passion in the industry and the knowledge that she still wants to impart.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely unheard of.
And
And
can I just say, Chris, that you've actually played quite a big role in producing. In fact, it's a product you've produced, a PDF, which you call the Toolbox, that everybody who joins the Loving Life team or network will get. It's about a 80-page document, PDF, where you can actually find out every single thing that you would be asking questions about when it comes to LifeWave. So, you know, if you join the Loving Life network, you can then basically get the toolbox. You can find out all the sort of things that you're asking questions about. And of course, if you need clarification, we've got a WhatsApp group which people can join, and they can get clarification on just anything, because you've got people who've been in the business a long time who can answer all the questions. So the support is fantastic.
no, definitely. I'm one of these types of people that I try and I try and make things easier for people. Because I realize that people are busy. People have got their lives, they've got their jobs. People don't have too much time to try and hunt around, try and look for things. And I'm the type of person where I like to structure everything. And when I joined, I found there was so much information floating around everywhere. And I just took it all and I put it into a PDF where there's 36 points that are indexed with 93 pages showing you where to find whatever you need to look at. And what I find is, if you're just doing a little bit every day, even if you're taking 10 minutes a day, watching a bit of this, reading a bit of this, watching a bit of that, you are you educating yourself. If you look at any type of profession, if you study and you want to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is, you've got many, many years of studying that you need to put in. And you've got to keep sharpening your skills on a daily basis. And, once how do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece. And you just take in a little bit every day, just a little bit every day. Number one, first being on the product. Because once you get onto the product's going it's going to change your life and the way your outlook towards life, your thinking, your energy level, your frequency. It's going to basically raise your frequency. And once you start to feel what the product is doing, and you start learning about what you can achieve from a business point of view, you'll have what we call LifeWave insomnia. Because we
you know what I love the best about this, Chris, is that and I see Ken's been putting in some comments about if he hates marketing, American marketing BS. Well, I tell you the best part of this, and seriously, as people know, my Loving Life TV has always been about supporting people, and that's what it's been about for years and years and years. And what I love about this is that when you actually sign someone up and they start taking the product, they get health benefits. So it's not something that's just being dished out, and it's not, the network isn't the primary goal. The primary goal is to help people through the patch. And
that's right.
I can tell you that personally, it's worked for me in a most remarkable way. And Thelma's asked, she said, Scott, do you have macular degeneration? Well, it's actually worse than that. I'm actually technically blind in my left eye because I've got a scar over the macula. That's as a result of macular degeneration, but that happened way back in the late 1990s, before they had this injection that they started putting into my good eye when it started going bad. And I stopped taking those injections 3 years ago into my eye because of what they call floaties. And what happens is when they inject your eye and they put this stuff into treat your macular degeneration, there are little bits of dust or whatever it might be that actually land up inside your eyeball. And I've still got those floaties. There are about 15 or 20 of them, but they're quite small, so I kind of ignore them now. But the more injections you have in your eye, the more floaties you get, to a point where you might as well not let the macula just take over, degeneration take over, because your vision has been impaired by all the floaties. So 3 years ago I stopped, and I've been very lucky because it hasn't regressed. But since I've been taking the X39 patches, my vision has improved dramatically. And one of the things that I'm learning about this, and I'm very inquisitive, so I always go and check things out. And as a couple of people here have said, Google it, Google LifeWave and see what people say. Find out for yourself. I did that. But the point I was going to make is that when it comes to the impact that this has had on me in so many different ways, and I'm talking about the ability to help other people who've got health issues, and it's a lovely thing to be part of. You know, it's very fulfilling. Over to you, Chris.
Well, I have not spoken to one person initially about the business. This is what I love about LifeWave, is it's product-led. It's product-led. And this is the way network marketing was designed, the way it's actually meant to work. Because I tell people about what this product has done for me, and I tell people what it's done for my mom. I'll actually tell that story now.
Yeah.
And that's something that basically turned things around for me. And all I do is I just share what this product has done.
Yeah.
And people go, wow, please tell me more information about it. So the first thing I say is, let's get you onto the product. And you heard me say this last time, the proof is not in the pudding, the proof is in the patch. And when people start to feel what this product does, I'm going to give you an example. I spoke to a lady in January. She saw my Facebook post. I put something about one of the meetings I was doing, and there's a picture of myself with a couple of people with patches. And she asked, what is that? What are these patches all about? So all I did was shared with her www.startx39.com. And this just gives information about the product, a 2-minute clip on the science. It's got the patents on there. It's got 82 clinical studies. It's got testimonies, doctors' reviews. Everything is on there.
Yeah.
And she said, Chris, I'd like to try the product. So I said to her, not a problem. I've got a sleeve at home with me. It's $149 plus VAT. So she paid the full retail price. And I went to Postnet and sent the sleeve to her. As I said, she's had back pain for over 10 years. She's on cortisone injections. She's on tablets to help with inflammation, and not much has worked. She got onto the X39. Now, very quickly, I actually put this on my arm just to show people. So the two places where you put the patch is back of your neck or 2 fingers below your belly button. But you can put the patch anywhere in your body. So I said to her, take the X39 and put it on your lower back. She sent me a message about 3 weeks later and said, Chris, I don't know how to say this, but my back pain has reduced by 75%. It's not gone. That's what I'm talking about, having realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Guys, the person's had back pain for 10 years. You can't put this patch on and 48 hours later, you are completely pain-free.
Yeah.
It's a process. And she understood that from the start. I said, Debbie, you need to be at least on the 90-day protocol. She said, what does that mean? I said, you need to be on the product for at least 90 days to get the full benefit. She said, Chris, I will do anything. She then sent me a message saying, I'd like to order another sleeve. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you my invite link. So you can then buy it at wholesale price at $99. So she said, okay, I want to buy it, but I don't want to do that networking thing. I said, Debbie, you don't have to. You don't have to. There's 2 places in LifeWave. You can when you've registered, you can purchase the product, as you said just now, Scott. You can purchase it once a month, once every 3 months. You purchasing it at wholesale. So she said, no, she doesn't want to do the network marketing side. I said, you don't have to. But guess what happened? She sent me a message saying, Chris, I've got 2 people that want to register. How do I get my own link? So I laughed at her and I said, but Debbie, I thought you don't do the networking thing. She said, no, but this is different. because of what the product has done.
I just want to make a very, very important point here for people who might not have any physical ailments or issues, and they're saying, well, look, I don't have any problems in my body. I don't need X39. I'll tell you something that's incredible about stem cells, is that they go to parts of your body where they're needed. So if you've got like a kidney issue, they will go to your kidney and they will fix that, or they will certainly help where they can to fix it, because that's what stem cells do. Now, by reactivating your stem cells, you're automatically sending this army of stem cells to places in your body that you might not even realize you've got a problem at the moment. So they're actually going to go and do work in those places where maybe in 6 months' time you'd suddenly say, shit, I've got a kidney issue, or I've got this issue. And those stem cells in the meantime are actually working on that particular organ or that particular problem. So it's like any hidden ailments you have that you don't realize are there, the stem cells are actually going to work for you. So it's absolutely extraordinary.
I was just asking my girlfriend, she said next time she will actually join us on a call. Now, what's very interesting, I'm glad you mentioned that, Scott, is the stem cells are going to be doing work in the background.
Yeah.
So you might say, yes, I don't have any ailments that you're consciously aware of. But by getting onto the X39, you'll notice other things starting to improve in your body, right? But now what happened is, as I mentioned right in the beginning, I started getting a reaction after 5 days. Then my girlfriend got onto the patches, and after 3 weeks, she said, I'm not feeling anything, nothing's happening. After 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, by week 7, I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Then just going into week 7, she said, okay, Chris, oh my goodness, my hot flushes have disappeared. To do with the menopause. The tinnitus I was talking about in the ears started to go down. But what was happening was there were other issues in her body that the patches or the stem cells were going to work in other areas first before going and improving what she wanted to get done initially. So that's why we talk about that 90-day protocol. So everybody's body is different. So it took 7 weeks for everything to start to kick in, where it took me 5 days. But that's going to be different for each person. And, the company's got a 90-day money-back guarantee. If the product doesn't do anything after 90 days, you'll get a full refund. And that's what I call a company putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah. Now, look, I've got a few questions from Henry, and I'm just going to throw them at you. Just so we cover it. He says, how much is a second-hand patch worth? Well, you can address that in a second. Do these patches increase in value over the years if you do not use them? And third, last question, what is the sell-by date on these patches? So let's do the sell-by date first. How long do they last for from the time they get delivered to you?
There we go. I don't know if you can see it here. It says 2024 on the back here, 2 years.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mine says 2025. Okay, so you've got 2 years to use them.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And, okay, so do these patches increase in value over the years if you do not use them? Do they become collectibles?
That's the first time I've heard that. That's quite funny. But what you can do is, Henry, very good, question there talking about reusing. Now, if you notice Scott's face, he's got the patch just under his eye, and he's got a new one on the back of his neck. So what we're doing is we're doing a bit of a double whammy, a bit of a shock treatment, so to speak. So what Scott's doing is putting a brand new one on the back of his neck, and then at the end of the day, Scott will take that one off. Okay, we talking about as you started, and then that's his second day patch. So that patch has been used because the product is made where it's got an efficiency of about 16 hours. So if you've only used it for, let's call it, say 8 hours, there's still a bit of juice in it, and you don't really just want to throw it away when it's still got a bit of work to do. So what Scott does is puts a brand new one on, but the one that he had yesterday on the back of his neck, the next morning, a new one goes there, and then the second day patch will go under the eye. So you're basically squeezing every bit of juice out of the patch that you can get. So a very good point there. You can do that, and people actually use their second day patches on their animals. So you can actually use it on your pets as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, in fact, that's a really good point. You use it on yourself day one, and where there's like a place you can put it near the skin with your dog, you put it there, and the dog gets the benefit of stem cells rejuvenation as well. Yeah, incredible. All right, look, I think we've pretty well covered everything, but I know you wanted to touch on realistic expectations, and you did just for a moment, but do you want to just get that clarified? Because although this is to me it's a miracle technology because of how it's helped my vision, but it's not. You've got to understand that the stem cells take time to actually, fix things. Over to you. Do you want to just discuss that side?
Yeah, we live in what we call a drive-through breakthrough type of era. Everybody wants instant gratification. And if you think about it, that comes from a little bit of programming. If you think about the last couple of decades, how you got drive-through here, and it's instant coffee, instant noodles, instant that. So we're living in this instant mindset world right now where people want everything sort of yesterday and kind of forget about the way traditional things have worked. Everything in life takes a bit of time. You talk to any farmer, you talk to a farmer and they can give you perspective on life on so many different levels. And I'm going to talk about it from two aspects. Number one, having realistic expectations from a product point of view. As I've mentioned twice already, is, everybody's body is different, and we need to realize that and take that into account. So that's where we talk about the 90-day protocol, which is absolutely vitally important. And then I want to talk about realistic expectations from the business point of view. People, they say they've worked in their job for, let's call it 20 years, 30 years, and you might get your, 3-4% increase per year, which is not even keeping up to inflation. And what happens is people decide, okay, let me have a go at this. I want to get into this network marketing. And, if they're not earning $1 million a month after 6 months, they're like, this doesn't work. No, in the beginning, you are laying the foundation. And as we mentioned, we've got the support in place. And this is all about sowing seeds. And it's about sharing LifeWave with people. And, what we've got to keep into account is, I look at myself. When George sent me information, he sent it to me on the 1st of October. The 1st of October. And I'm a type of person that, I'm always open for opportunities. I've been around the block, and I always look at things from the point of view of how can this make a difference. But it took me 5 weeks before I made a decision to join. And that's what it's like. You register with LifeWave, you get the benefit of the product, and then you just share it with people. And, something I've learned over the years is a saying that says you cannot say enough of the right things to the wrong person, and you cannot say enough of the wrong things to the right person, because it's all about timing. And, when a person is ready to hear the message, It's like, every morning I blow my imaginary dog whistle. I blow my imaginary dog whistle in the morning, and the right people are going to hear the sound, and they're going to hear the message that I just, I'm so excited about this product that I just want to, like I say, I want to stand on the top of a building, and I just want to like shout this out to everybody and say, guys, we've got something that can change your life on every single level. But it's when a person is ready. When a person is ready. And, that's all about different timing for different people. So what will happen is a person will get onto the product, and then they'll start sharing it with people. And all you're doing is planting seeds, and the right person will come at the right time. And, what's quite interesting, I was with a friend, person I've known for about 2 years. And he saw a post on Facebook. I shared the information to him. And he said, Chris, I'd like to find out more about it. Sent him information on the product. Last week, Monday, we went for a cup of coffee. And he said, right, how does the commission structure work? I said to him, no, it's pretty easy. It's binary, like I said, one leg on the left, one leg on the right, and you build it. And you know what I did? I was sitting at the table, and there was a whole thing of little sugars. And I took these little bags of sugars, and I put them all down on the table. And I showed him what the structure looks like by putting sugars on the table. He said, I like what I see. Have you got your laptop with you? Let's get registered. I want to get going. So it just shows you, it's all about timing. I could have drawn it on a napkin, but he was the right person. Where you can have other people, where you can have Tony Robbins. We all know who Tony Robbins is, right? You can have Tony Robbins doing a presentation, the most kick-ass presentation you've ever seen in your life. And the person will go, no, I'm not too sure. This is not going to work. So,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's all about right people, wrong people. Everything in life is about timing. You know what? You've got to resonate with this. You don't need it.
Chris, on that timing point, you raised something to me that is really, really so pivotal to the opportunity if you get involved now. And that is that the key product that LifeWave are benefiting from is the X39, which is only a few years old. So although the company's been going for 19 years, they had these other products, but the X39, which is the one that's, it's just the business has just exploded since the X39 came out, because that's the one that actually wakes up the stem cells. Now, getting in now means that you're getting in very early into a business which everybody is talking about stem cells now. I mean, you think about it. Stem cells are the way forward. Everybody's talking about it. Very new technology. Here you've got a non-invasive product called the X39. You can talk to your friends who've got issues, etc., regarding this product. They can get in at a very early stage because there's a huge number of people who have absolutely no idea about X39 or this technology. So the opportunity to build a really successful network and business right now is huge.
Yeah, I tell you what, the company 10x its turnover last year. I mentioned this before. Most companies after COVID are closing doors, closing doors. And in 2020 and 2021, LifeWave did $30 million turnover. Last year, 2022, LifeWave did $300 million turnover. And that's because of, as you mentioned, launching the X39, which is basically taking the world by storm.
Yeah.
And the company is hitting what you call an exponential growth curve.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect time to get in. You're getting in at the crest of the wave.
Yeah.
Right in the, if you call it the beginning, because of what this product is doing. And they're projecting that LifeWave is going to do $1 billion turnover in 2025. And, look, myself, when I registered on the 24th of November last year, it was me, myself. I looked at my back office. It was naked. It was empty. There was nothing. I thought, oh my word, where do I start? I'm so overwhelmed. Who do I talk to? What do I say? I'm like, oh my word, yikes. I just knew in my heart, I could feel in my soul, there's something here. And I just start from scratch. And all I did was I plugged into the system, George, my upline, held my hand, and then introduced me to Harvey, introduced me to Steve and Gina. So that's how we learn, and that's what we do in our group right now.
Yeah.
And our team, my team right now with George, we're seeing on 600 people in
Wow.
5 months, which I'm over the moon with. I'm over the moon. I'm having fun. I'm loving this. Scott, I haven't had this much fun in my life. I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
And it's probably the last 2 decades I haven't had this much fun. I'm absolutely freaking loving this, making a difference in people's lives. Loving it.
And you're now financially independent, and you're also helping people with their health. I mean, what a great combination.
Big time. Hey, that's a beautiful recipe.
Yeah.
Health and wealth.
Yeah.
Health and wealth. That's what we can do for people. So.
All right. Well, look, we've had a few questions, but there's a lot of discussion in the side chat, and obviously a lot of people who use X39 and are involved in LifeWave are here, and you know, a lot of those questions have been answered by people who are familiar with X39 and the product. So that I think that's all been covered. Yeah. Look, Chris, I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for introducing Marlena to the product, and as a result, myself, because I've seen the benefit, and yeah, look, I'm excited, just like you. I think this product it's got legs. And the beauty is that if people become part of the Loving Life network, the link is below this video. You can join there. As we said, the recommended one is silver, because that way you actually get 3 envelopes, and you don't have any joining fees or anything like that, and it just gets you going. And but you know, you can just get 1 pack or whatever, but just try it, see how you go. I can tell you, it's Ken says it's not about finance. I know that, Ken. It's about health. It's all about health. And Ken also said, Marlena, when I talk about cautious, remember the vax. I never had it, thank God. Well, the difference between the patch and the vax is that with the vax, as Bill Gates famously said, we just plunge the needle right in the arm and shoot the shit right into kids' veins. I mean, that's the vax. Okay, now with this patch, it's non-invasive, it's sitting outside, and all it's doing is it's activating your own stem cells. So it's a totally different type of technology to what you're talking about there. All right, Chris, anything you'd like to say in wrapping up?
Yeah, just basically saying, you know, anybody that might be saying, be cautious or that type of thing, guys, 19 years in business. The company would not be in business after 19 years, number one. Number two, would not have 133 patents, 82 clinical trials, and the company's in 84 countries around the world, registered with all the bodies, the DSA, you name it. So this is dinkum. It's real. The company structure, the product, like I say, the proof is in the patch. All the documentation is there. And as you said, nothing goes into your body. It's completely natural. Nothing goes into your body. So it's in a league of its own. You actually cannot compare this with anything else. And you know what? LifeWave is going places. So come for the ride. Yeah. Have fun with us. Come play in our playground, because we have a lot of fun here.
Right. Okay. Chris, thank you so much. And look, I know you're in regular contact with Marlena, who's doing. I mean, she's an amazing networker. She is
next level.
She'll be a director before you can even say, you know, Christmas. I mean, she's just really moving. And it is. It's what you put in is what you get out. And because you're helping people, it's a pleasure to put some time into it. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Chris, thank you, and have a great evening.
Pleasure, Scott. Thanks, you as well. Thank you, and looking forward to hopping on a call soon again, but we'll keep in comms on the group. Thank you, Scott.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you. You too. Cheers, eh? Bye. Bye.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up with, I think, Hier Bly Ek Boer, and, yeah, our little theme song. Look, I hope you found tonight educational. I can tell you that people know me. I call a spade, and so does Marlena, as people who have been on live streams know. Marlena calls a spade, and we can both vouch for the effectiveness of these patches in our own personal situations, which have been very different. Mine has been vision, and hers has been, cartilage in her knees, a lack of cartilage, and not being able to walk. So it's a product that helps all sorts of different conditions. All right, have a great evening, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Johannesburg time, and we're scheduled to be talking about, this is going to be quite an interesting subject, we're talking about the Broederbond liquidators and the Master's Office. Remember that live stream we had a couple of weeks ago with Gail about the Master's Office and the liquidators? We're going right into the lion's den. That's tomorrow night, hopefully 8 p.m., load shedding dependent. All right, guys, here bly ek boer. Have a great evening, and over and out. And once again, if you want to join the Loving Life team, the link is below this video. Take care.
Meer as 61,000 van ons voorvaders het op die grens vir ons gesterwe, sodat ons vry kan wees. Die is my land, die is my reg. Hier is ek boer. Van stof is ek gemaak en sal ek terugkeer. Die Bybel is die woord waaruit ek leer, soos die grond op die aarde. Hier bly ek boer. So diep in die nacht sal die vyand kom, maar hier bly ek staan en ek draai nie om, want jy maak my nie bang nie. Hier bly ek boer. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my sweet, my reg. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Hier bly ek boer. Soos 'n blaassam in die somer wat vreugde bring, my oupa wat Manikiro kon sing, soos hy stap deur die lande. Hier was hy boer. My wortels lê diep in die grond geplant. Hy sien soos my pa, los ek vir jou die land, en jy hoef nie te vrees nie. Hier sal jy boer. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my sweet, my reg. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Hier bly ek boer. Die leeu sal kom, 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 die leeu sal kom.